I understood the importance of my health, and I just wanted to put the message out there that you actually don't have to lose your health in order to understand its importance. You might as well take care of it before getting sick.
This is All Things Fitness and Wellness, hosted by Chrissy Van. Together, we're uniting industry thought leaders and fitfluencers on the mission to inspire innovation and encourage people to live a life fit and well. On today's episode, we welcome back the founder of GlobalWellnessDay, Belgin Aksoy. Belgin has a background in tourism and hotels that spans almost 3 decades. In 2012, she founded the internationally successful Global Wellness Day, where millions of people from over 170 countries participate each year. The event takes place on the second Saturday of June annually. In addition to organizing this global movement, Belgin founded Turkey's first destination spa, supports health foundations, and speaks at international spa and wellness organizations. She's been recognized with numerous awards as a leading woman in wellness. In this podcast, we'll discuss the momentum for this year's Global Wellness Day, why the theme MagentaNature was chosen, and how fitness brands can integrate themselves into this global movement. Before we get to it, be sure to hit like and subscribe. We have new podcast episodes weekly featuring industry thought leaders and influencers. I'm your host, Chrissy Van, and this is ATFW. Well, I am so happy we hopped on here and realized it's our 1-year anniversary of joining each other on the All Things Fitness and Wellness podcast. Belgin Aksoy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Chrissy, for inviting me one more time. Yeah, our 1-year anniversary. I love that.
Well, and of course, it is the 1 year because last time you joined us to share your incredible journey into wellness and the wellness industry. And it was a very powerful story. And if you're listening, I encourage you to do a little search on our page and we'll link it below so that you can hear that story. But the reason why we're chatting today is because we are on the heels of this year's Global Wellness Day. So for those that aren't familiar, could you reintroduce what it is and how it came to life?
Well, first of all, it's coming up. It's on Saturday. It was founded in 2012. Global Wellness Day is an entirely not-for-profit day. It's an international social project dedicated to support the universally shared dream of living a healthier and better life. And the fundamental purpose of the day is to direct the thoughts of both individuals and society towards living well and to make peace with oneself and pause and focus on our well-being and free ourselves from our bad habits and stresses. It's important thing is that it's celebrated only and only with complementary activities by millions of people around the world on the second Saturday of June every year, in over 170 countries this year and in tens and thousands of locations around the world simultaneously. And Global Wednesday has turned into an international movement. It has been by now recognized by many presidents of countries, mayors, schools, hospitals, associations, foundations, world-renowned athletes and business people and Hollywood stars and many more. And it has had a significant impact on the wellness industry, obviously, by promoting awareness and education on various wellness practices and fostering collaborations and inspiring businesses to integrate wellness into their core values, I would say.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because it is this global movement. And I've been on LinkedIn and people already in the build up doing a lot of sharing in the business communities, lots of involvement there. And I was just having a conversation not too long ago with an individual that was talking about the surge of searches for wellness on Google and how there is this. And even if people aren't really sure, they hear the word wellness and aren't quite sure how it's defined, they know they want it in their lives. And it's because we're dealing with mental health crisis. We know physical inactivity, a huge component, our social isolation. So it's wonderful that you've created an event for people to come together and celebrate the various modalities. Last year was Dance Magenta. Magenta, of course, being your theme color, which I just happened to match with. If you're listening, you can't see it, but it's completely my color. But for this year, it's about nature magenta. So talk to me a little bit about the theme and the why behind that.
Yeah, last year's theme was liked by many. We actually thought about repeating the dancing theme this year too. But then when we did the call with our Global Wellness Day ambassadors and key supporters, we decided to change it to nature, because Mother Nature is definitely calling for help and we need to take care of our universe. Well, this year's theme is MagentaNature, obviously because nature is suffering and Mother Earth urges all to action, and nature has profound impact on our mental, physical, and emotional health. And during the pandemic, many people reconnected with nature as a source of solace and healing. And scientific studies actually consistently show that spending time in nature reduces stress and enhances our mood and boosts overall well-being. And by focusing on nature, we aim to encourage people to appreciate and integrate the natural world into their daily lives, promoting a balanced and harmonious lifestyle, I would say, while increasing awareness around issues such as climate change and global warming. And this theme aligns with current wellness trends, where there is a growing emphasis on incorporating natural elements into urban living and working spaces. And brands are increasingly recognizing the value of nature in enhancing mental and physical well-being. And this theme encourages people to integrate natural experiences into their offerings, I would say.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember last time you and I chatted, you were talking about Ikigai. And
Yeah,
I actually just read the book last week. I wrapped
you
it
did.
up. I did.
Okay.
And, even when it's speaking to our connection with nature, I live in a densely populated city, and I'm somebody that completely gets what you're saying and try to consciously, even if you're just on a walk, looking at the
Mhm.
trees that are around, or I've been stopping to smell the actual flowers, and you realize that it's all around us, but we do have that massive disconnect if we don't actually pay attention. And I, even
Totally.
living in the city of Vancouver, am near this incredible rainforest park, Stanley Park, which is quite famous. And it's like, how many people even live here and don't spend the time to walk through it or appreciate it?
That's a
But
pity.
right? But I'm like, those that do, you actually do feel these tremendous benefits. So obviously, I know that this Global Wellness Day has massive momentum. So there's a lot to speak to here. But what are some ways that wellness businesses or fitness businesses can or are incorporating nature, especially if they're in urban environments?
Well, I envision brands in the wellness sector embracing MagentaNature by incorporating more outdoor activities and green spaces and nature-inspired designs into their services. And this can include creating wellness retreats in natural settings, or offering outdoor fitness classes and using natural materials and plants even in interior designs. And by doing so, brands can provide calming and rejuvenating experience that reduce stress and promotes overall well-being. And they can host workshops and additional educational sessions about the benefits of nature and eating healthy, protecting the environment, which we need a lot, and encouraging obviously individuals to spend more times outdoors. So many people think that wellness can be expensive, as in like financially, and expanding it does not have to be expensive. So
There we go.
so yeah, so these initiatives can make the services like more appealing by providing unique and refreshing experiences that promote the holistic well-being.
Yeah, there's so many amazing options out there. As we're navigating through 2024 within the wellness space, what are some of the big trends? I know when we start a new year, there's a lot of talk about them, but now that we're halfway through, what are some of the modalities that are kind of really gaining steam in the space?
Obviously, digital detox, which all we need. And I have to say, lately, this is the time of the year for me that I use all the digital devices quite a lot of blue light. But after Global Wellness Day, I do have my moment of digital detox, very much needed. I would say another one is sustainability, emphasizing eco-friendly practices and products, and mental wellness, as you have mentioned, integrating mental health support and mindfulness practices. And lately, personalized wellness, which is very important to offer customized wellness plans tailored to individual needs. And lately, biophilic design, I would say, which is incorporating natural elements into architecture and design. And brands can leverage these trends by creating environments and experiments that promote a deeper connection with nature, such as offering eco-friendly products and organizing nature retreats and designing spaces that bring the outdoors in. If it's not possible to go outdoors, sometimes we can actually bring the outdoors in.
And it's amazing how calming it is when you do walk into spaces like that. How about what you're seeing in regards to the attention on longevity and how much the conversation around that has shifted in recent years?
Totally. I will actually be at a longevity forum in September in Switzerland, St. Moritz. A lot of doctors are going to be there. I hope I'm going to make sense in between those doctors with not being a doctor myself. But yes, that's so much into a lot is going on around longevity. Is getting old a disease or not? Can we actually live long and not get old? And there's all these discussions going on. Let's see what is going to win.
Yeah. Well, I think that more people are paying attention to it. And for you personally, I mean, I remember we discussed in your story, like you had to navigate illness and then you realize
Mm.
these different shifts that we can make in our lives. Talk to me just a little bit about your personal journey in that regard into understanding that what we do now is of utmost importance and how a lot of us don't really think about it until we're faced with something very scary if there's something in our body that's not feeling quite right.
Yeah, totally. That's actually going back to our conversation a year ago. That goes back to the story of Global Wellness Day. That's why it was created eventually, because I understood the importance of my health, and I just wanted to put the message out there that you actually don't have to lose your health in order to understand its importance. You might as well take care of it before getting sick. Which was not the case for me. We're supposed to take care of our health, like physically and mentally and spiritually as well, and to be in balance as much as we can, and to not to panic when we're not in balance. Actually, to feel in peace with ourselves and to say like, okay, maybe I'm not physically balanced today, but I am at least mentally or spiritually in balance today. And tomorrow, I'll, let's say, go for a walk and I'll see how my this body incorporating with my spirit. So it's not like you take a pill and you become well in one day. It's definitely a lifelong journey. We need to be nicer to ourselves.
Yeah, I really like that you highlight too that when things aren't in balance to not panic and
Mm.
actually you have to come to this level of acceptance at the end of the day. Life is going to throw all different scenarios our way. Often it's the
Totally.
things that you cannot predict. Because that's the thing, we're like creatures of certainty. So there's things that you can handle if it's something in your normal routine, but it's those things that kind of come out of left field that are what throw us for the biggest loops. But if you have those foundations in place, it can make a huge difference. You have worked on a high level because you work in this industry as well and have been very successful in this industry. And we talk to a lot of executives on the podcast that are flying all over the place all the time for different conferences, meetings, demands, talking about digital detox, phones pinging all the time. What would be your best advice? Because you are coming from a successful business owner perspective of executive level individuals finding their balance and the importance of prioritizing it.
It's a simple and a difficult question, actually. I think it's very personal. But to put it in general, what I can say is not to take everything too seriously. taking a breath and embracing. We unfortunately tend to accept and embrace only the positive things in life, and when there is something negative, we tend to push it away and say like, "No, I don't want it." But it cannot be like that all the time. We're supposed to open arms and embrace the negative things as well. Which in my case, it seemed like a negative thing that happened to me when I had my disease, but then it turned out to be such a positive thing because from that point on, I really understood the importance of life and my health, and I changed many things, and I'm a happier and healthier person. I don't even remember how I was before 2004. It's like completely two different people, and what seemed to be a very negative thing turned out to be a positive one. So I think don't take everything too seriously, and just be open arms and embrace anything that coming at your direction, and say, okay, now that this happened, what do I do with it? Instead of saying why this happened, I think the question is, now that this happened, what do I do with it?
It's so important. And I also feel like it's equally important that making that choice, accepting that it's probably going to be very messy, but that's okay. Because I think that
Exactly.
we always talk about the fact, like, I love what you're saying, but I'm like, the messy bit that happens in between, no one
Yeah.
likes to amplify that. And I think no matter how accomplished you are or at what level you are, the messy is going to happen, but it's so much easier if you're not going at it with this level of resistance, which is often much easier said than done, but it's finding ways to ground yourself. And again, I think that's why it's so important to remind people that are operating at really high business levels, because in general life, the population has so much distraction. And I think it's just even more so when you have added pressures of some very real and big deliverables of your livelihood. And especially if you're leading a team, when you feel responsible for the livelihood of other individuals below that. So incredibly important. The day is coming up. And I know that we've spoken to the fact businesses across the globe are creating these events that are complimentary for the public. For those that are taking part in the events, what do you encourage them to do to amplify the ripple even further? I know that you have been doing some great work on social media. Everything's kind of color coded. So how can people spread the message through the weekend?
Well, brands can organize guided nature walks or sunrise meditation sessions, farm to table feasts, community garden events, and environmental cleanup drive, tree planting, which we're going to see a lot of it this year, forest bathing workshops, nature meditation retreat, or if they're all going to be by themselves at home, they can definitely start practicing the 7-step manifesto of Global Wellness Day. It's very simple. Anyone from any age, from any financial resource can do it, and the aim is to start these 7 steps just before Global Wellness Day. And next year on Global Wellness Day, individuals can celebrate their wellness on the next Global Wellness Day. So it's walk for an hour, don't use plastic bottles, drink more water, eat healthy, have a family dinner, do a good deed, and sleep at 10. If not possible, at 11. That's my addition.
I know, especially here in Vancouver, the sun is not setting till 11, which it's like the body clock is so fascinating. How can people share the message, though, on social media? What do you encourage them? Because I think, this movement keeps getting bigger and bigger for a reason. And what you're doing on the social media side, I think, contributes greatly to that.
Well, I would encourage them to use definitely the hashtag Global Wellness Day, so we can find them and we can reshare their social media posts. And this year's theme being MagentaNature, our second hashtag is MagentaNature. And to tag Global Wellness Day, there are many Global Wellness Day social media accounts, but the main one is at Global Wellness Day. So if they can tag that, we can definitely find them. We would love to reshare. And if there are videos, we would love to include them in our Global Wellness Day around the world, the video that we prepare every year. And that's actually the way that I most of the time find out that Global Wellness Day is celebrated in some island that I didn't even know existed. And we have, let's say, no Global Wellness Day ambassador on that little island. But then somehow somebody hears about it and decides to organize a Global Wellness Day event. And so it's very important to use the hashtag and to tag Global Wellness Day.
And for yourself, I mean, you kind of speak to it there. I can't even imagine what a feeling to know that you brought this to life and that's happening, where you're like, I have to actually Google exactly where this place is that this event is happening. Reflecting even from last year to this year, as you've seen this movement grow, what comes up for you when you do some of that reflection and see all the sharing come to life?
I cannot believe it. Sometimes the only time that I can understand the expansion of Global Wellness Day is when I watch the Around the World video. And the week of Global Wellness Day, the week before Global Wellness Day, the week after Global Wellness Day, it's hard for me to comprehend what just happened. But then if you ask me that question, like around July, I can give you a more concrete answer. But now it's 3 days before Global Wellness Day, I feel like an astronaut walking on the moon. So hard to express. It's hard to express, but it's a lot of feelings crashed together that I'm trying to digest and take it all in, and I'm in total gratitude and awe, I would say.
Oh, those are amazing words to describe the feeling. And as I say, if you're listening in the aftermath of Global Wellness Day, I'm really happy that you shared the manifesto, because no matter where we are in life, there is so much that we can do. And I truly feel if more of the population focused on this, it collectively creates so much more good in this world. I think that we have more compassion for others if we have more compassion for ourselves. So I love what you stand for. Again, I highly encourage you to listen to our episode that we had with Belgin that aired last year. I will make sure to link it in the show notes, because you have an incredibly powerful story of what brought this to life. And kudos to you, because I know it's a tremendous amount of work, but I'm glad that you do take those moments to take it in, because it's well-deserved, because it is amplifying goodness in the world. So thank you, Belgin.
Thank you, Chrissy.
You've just listened to the All Things Fitness and Wellness podcast, hosted by Chrissy Van. This episode was brought to you by Fitness World, your fitness, your way. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. We have new podcast episodes weekly featuring industry insiders and influencers. Together, we're on a mission for everyone to live a life fit and well.